Not all fragrances are created equally. Some fragrances, when you smell them, you just go, oh, that's nice. These fragrances though, these fragrances make somebody stop and take notice when you walk in the room. They pull attention to the point it's like you owe someone else money. All these fragrances are gonna be linked in the description below. Feel free to check them out down there. The first one is a cheapie. It's from Rayhan and it's called Cororeium. And if the fragrance that this was cloning was still around, that fragrance would be in this list. But since it's not, this is the next best thing. And that fragrance, in case you're unaware, is Emporio Armani Stronger With You Leather, which was a Middle Eastern exclusive in the Stronger With You lineup that used to be pretty easy to find at discounters for a price that wasn't that bad, but now the prices are, yeah, that's how they are, that right there. People asking $260 to $300 for a bottle on eBay for something that you used to be able to find for about 70. I love it when that happens. But like I said, Cororeium right here, fortunately inexpensive and very, very close to Stronger With You Leather. Actually smells fantastic, which is a big departure from where Rayhan started. Some of those fragrances they first came out with, let's just say they had a little something in common with what you would clean your windows with. And yet somehow this stuff, fantastic. Great performance, very high quality. It does have, of course, that leather aspect from Stronger With You Leather. Also has that gourmand, rich, sweet, sexy aspect from Stronger With You Leather as well. Great performance and kind of a slick presentation overall. You know, it's simple, but looks nice. So Cororeium, absolutely a must own if you're into Stronger With You Leather or you wish you had gotten it and now you don't want to spend an arm and a leg to pick up a bottle. I want to keep things a little bit leathery with this next one. Azzaro Forever Wanted Elixir. Now look guys, this is gonna probably be one of the fragrance releases of the year. It just is what it is. You know how every year there's like, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 designer releases that just end up being like the biggest ones that everybody talks about from that year. This is gonna be one of those. Now it's not all rainbows, kittens, and butterflies, and sugar, and all that stuff. The atomizer sucks. It's not an atomizer, it's a trashamizer. It's such a minor thing, but then I get fixated on it. These new refillable bottles or these new atomizers that they're putting on these bottles, man, it's like the fragrance prices keep going up, the atomizers keep getting worse. Stop it! But ultimately it doesn't matter as long as it gets the fragrance where it's supposed to go, I guess, no big deal. So like I said, this is a leather fragrance, which is gonna give it a little different twist compared to, I don't know, 95% of designer fragrances out there nowadays. It is masculine, but has a really appealing sweet raspberry off the top, which grabs attention the second you spray this on. It does not smell like Tuscan leather. I bring that up because anytime you hear raspberry plus leather, a lot of people are gonna think Tuscan leather, but this is much more of a wearable scent profile compared to that one for your average person. You've also got a little bit of a woodiness in here, some citrus as well, and cardamom. It would work fantastically in fall, winter, spring, daytime, or evening. Great date night fragrance, big attention getter, and every single person that I've had smell this thinks it is fantastic. It does become one of those things where after you hear it over and over and over again from so many different people, you're just like, okay, well, all right, I guess it is that good. Fair enough. Now a scent that I don't particularly like, but as far as pulling positive attention, it is a monster 1 million parfum from Paco Rabanne. So as I said, not really in love with this fragrance, and yet it does pull a lot of positive attention. It's got kind of a solar sunscreen accord to it, sun tanning lotion, also in typical Rabanne fashion, sweet and strong. So it'll definitely get you noticed. It's not the type of fragrance that's really subtle and meek. No, it wants to get attention. It wants to be in people's faces. It starts to lean slightly unisex. It does have leather once again. Technically, the inspiration behind this was spilled sun lotion or sunscreen in a leather bag, and it's kind of how it comes across. It does make a very interesting choice for summertime in the designer realm though, because it does smell very unique against most anything else out there, at least as far as men's fragrances that are being marketed across the designer space. There's some massive fragrances coming up that you definitely want to know about, as well as some that fly under the radar. A little bit lesser known, you know, kind of stuff that if you know, you know. But when it comes to any of these fragrances, if you do want to get them for the best price possible, you want to be shopping at discounters. And I have a multitude of codes to use across a bunch of different discounter websites. Whether it's 15% off at Gift Express, 10% off at the Perfume Box, or all of these different codes that you see for JOMASHOP, which by the way, only work within the JOMASHOP app and change out quarterly, you can save money across a bunch of different stores here using these codes. So anytime you shop at any of these shops, do use those codes to save yourself some cash. The next fragrance is this one, Montblanc Legend Night. Now, I would have put Halloween Man Shot into this list, but Halloween Man Shot, getting pretty hard to find. But if you do see that at discounters for a good price, that's another one that you should check out. It used to be easy to find, like 30 bucks or so, but yeah, sold out pretty much everywhere, and a lot of people are asking for more money. And if you can find it some places like eBay, it's more expensive than it used to be, at least right this minute as I'm filming. But this one, Montblanc Legend Night, is fairly similar to Halloween Man Shot, how it comes across. And depending on where you're looking, you can find this one in that 30-ish range. So it is still affordable, still easy to find. The one drawback with Montblanc Legend Night is the performance. It's so-so, not so great, especially compared to these three over here, but it does have a very alluring scent profile. That type of fragrance where when somebody smells it, they want to come in closer and get another whiff. It is a compliment monster, way overlooked by most people, because when it comes to Legend, or the Legend lineup, most people are like, okay, Legend Eau de Toilette, Legend Eau de Parfum, Legend Spirit, also Legend Blue. This one kind of flies under the radar. So did Legend Intense, which was really good, or it got discontinued. In terms of notes, this one has vanilla, it has apple, cardamom, mint, lavender, and Aki Gala wood. And some people find a slight similarity also between this one and Armani Code Profumo, possibly because of the color scheme, pretty similar. To me, it's closer to Halloween Man Shot, but it is kind of in that overall style. So maybe if you like Code Profumo, you'll like this one as well, but don't think of this as a replacement for Code Profumo. The next fragrance is one I've talked about a few times. It is Sweet Heaven Cherry by Gulf Orchid. So this is a fragrance in a bottle style similar to an Angel Share alternative, but in actuality smells a little bit closer to Camra by Lattafa, but not the same as Camra, because instead they have overdosed it with cherry off the top. So hopefully you're following along there, dumbing it down. It looks kind of like Angel Share except red, but actually is Camra, but with cherry instead. Got it? Okay, good. So it has that same kind of sweetness, that warmth, that compliment factor that Camra has, but now the opening is just like, at least as long as you like cherry. It is a little bit sticky, you know, a little bit syrupy sweet, but in a really attention-grabbing way. And as it dries down, it smells fantastic. This stuff, fall, winter, daytime, evening, does not matter. I think really anybody could pull it off, unisex, because of that cherry, the way it comes across. But this is another one of those ones that, you know, all you have to do is what I just did. Spray it and have somebody smell it, and almost everybody is gonna lose their stuff over this. Also, solid performance, so you get a lot of bang for your buck with this one. And it's another one of those if you know, you know type fragrances. Like, more people know Camra, not so many people know this, at least comparatively speaking. So the next one is a fragrance that undeniably is extremely versatile, very, very, very pleasing, a big compliment puller. The main question that you have to answer as far as the fragrance itself, whether it's worth it, is just that, whether it's worth it. It's YSL Elixir by YSL. Because at full retail, this is nearly $200 for a 2-ounce size bottle. Yeah, it's pricey. Actually, I'm pretty sure that when it launched, it was $180, but now it's $190. So inflation, fragflation. Also, it has that super turdy atomizer, just not good. The fragrance though, in typical Y fashion, is the type of scent that people go crazy for and absolutely adore. Women in general really appreciate the Y line, and it's because of that fresh plus sweet combination that it does so well, and this one does that also. Now, one of the big sticking points about this fragrance when it was launched is it makes use of oud, and they were really adamant that it uses the finest, highest quality ingredients. But then in actuality, you can't really smell too much oud in there. So at the time, it was like, man, I was thinking they were gonna do something kind of out of left field, something very different. And then you get it in and you're like, like it clearly smells like a Y, very clearly. So you can draw a line to this and Y Eau de Parfum, or this and Y Eau de Parfum Intense, you know? There are similarities, strong similarities. It is, though, a little bit more sophisticated. It does come across a little bit more upper tier as far as how it smells. It's not quite as like aggressively sweet. It still has that sweetness. It's just not maybe as like face punching when you spray it on. It's, like I said, a little bit more buttoned up. But the big issue though, as I mentioned, was the price. 180 bucks when it launched, 190 now at full retail. But because the demand is not as intense on the secondary market for this one, it has dropped at discounters. And now you can find this for about 110 for this size bottle, so 80 bucks off. And that does make it much more attractive, because when this first hit discounters, it was like 160, and it looked like it was gonna hold there for a while, but the price has been dropping. And if it continues to drop further, that makes it an even better purchase. So that's really the question, the price. Is it worth it? And so for some people, they're gonna say, absolutely. I would rather pay a little more and get something that comes across like the most sophisticated form of the Y-DNA. And other people are gonna say, no, just give me Y-EDP for less. I don't care that it's a little sweeter, a little bit more in your face, less refined. But as far as just fragrances that women absolutely love, big compliment pullers, Y-EDP, Y Elixir, can't go wrong. Next up, Mirage Absolute from French Avenue. This is a clone of Latent Exclusive, and it is fantastic. This is one of the best fragrances that Fragrance World / French Avenue has done. Stupid good. This is one of those clones where you smell it and you're just kind of like, how do they pull that off exactly? Just in terms of like the quality, the bang for the buck, all of that. As I mentioned, a clone of Latent Exclusive. So obviously gonna smell quite similar to the original Latent, but a little bit darker, a little more bold. It's supposed to have a slight animalic tinge to it. I will say it does not have as much of an animalic edge as Latent Exclusive. Not that Latent Exclusive has a crazy animalic touch to it or anything, but it still is, in my opinion, the best Latent Exclusive clone that you can get today. Strong, high quality, very rich, obviously massive compliment puller, fall, winter time gem. Just one of the best overall inexpensive Latent type fragrances, period. I gotta go with one of these. I've got to. The whole line, for the most part, you could work in here and it would make sense. It's Born in Roma, and that is Coral Fantasy. Woo! Like I said though, the whole Valentino, Uomo, Born in Roma line, pretty much any of them, they are all made to be worn all the time, and they're made to pull compliments. That's really all they're going after. But to their credit, they do smell super appealing. And they've really like honed in and gotten better as time has gone on. Like the new Extra Dose, very strong, bunch of lavender in there, quite good at commanding attention. Born in Roma Intense, that's my favorite. The vanilla vetiver kind of lavender combo that one has in the air is magic. And Coral Fantasy, top notch as well. The red apple in there, fresh, sweet, attention grabbing. The tobacco as it dries down makes this a perfect like beginner's tobacco scent, because it doesn't really hit you with anything too off-putting. It doesn't have like this, you know, overly smoky aspect to it or this dry aspect to it. It keeps things fresh, it keeps things sweet. The tobacco is mild, so it makes it something, like I said, great for beginners. But don't let that dissuade you from the fragrance. It's not just like a beginner's only type scent. Everybody likes it. One more clone, last one of the video. This is Offnot Supremacy Collector's Edition. And you know what? Let's do a giveaway in today's video too. I'll grab something here in a second. I've got some stuff. So Offnot Supremacy Collector's Edition. This one is a clone of Absolute Invictus. And the Supremacy line is just one of those lines that's kind of kept chugging along. You know, it's one of those ones that people really like that are into fragrances and into clone fragrances, but it maybe doesn't always make as much noise as some of the other clone lines out there. But like I said, it keeps chugging along, and the stuff that they put out in the Supremacy line, by and large, really top notch. And this is possibly the best of the whole bunch. Now, as I mentioned, Absolute Invictus is what this is a clone of. Great performance, so it's gonna last a long time, project heavily. You can use it pretty much year round, daytime, nighttime, any season, doesn't matter. Casual, formal, business, work, hanging out at the beach, I don't know, flying to space, going to a concert in the Taco Bell drive-thru, going on a cruise, going to Disney World, trying to take a submersible down to the Titanic. You could do pretty much anything wearing this. Some things better than others. Note-wise, it's got pineapple and bergamot along with birch, orange blossom, oak moss, and musk. Also a little bit of apple. One of the best Invictus type fragrances out there, and it kind of goes without saying, any Invictus type fragrance is gonna do really well as far as pulling attention. That is why it is the best-selling men's niche fragrance ever. Time to pull out that Invictussy. It's Invictus Absolute. I got all messed up. I forgot the victory part. Invictus Victory Absolute. Comes in the cool new svelte bottle with a matte black design on there. In terms of notes, got black pepper, you have amber, sandalwood, ambergris, patchouli, bit of incense as well. Great performance, so very long lasting. Another one that easily gets attention because of that projection. It has a sweetness like you would expect from an Invictus and like you would expect from an Invictus Victory, but to me not quite as much as the other two that came before it. Interestingly enough, it's got a little more of a freshness when you first spray it on, that pepper kind of hitting, so a fresh spiciness and more woods as it dries down. Not quite as much of that vanilla overload that you can get in the other Invictus Victories. Now, like I said though, still has sweetness, it's still there, still attention grabbing. You could think of it as a slightly more upscale Invictus Victory in some ways, and it's one that definitely grows on you more and more as you wear it. I've got two more fragrances. I'm gonna share the next one, then we'll do the giveaway and wrap it up. The next fragrance, Stronger With You, Sandalwood. So yeah, we got Stronger With You leather-ish over here, and then Stronger With You Sandalwood right here, which you can still find.
For now.
Yeah, with any of these Stronger With You exclusives at this point, I think it's kind of one of those deals where if you want it, get it. Because some of them that used to be unbelievably easy to find, almost overnight it feels like they went, that means they went away. So this one has saffron, chestnut, sandalwood, lavender, and vanilla, along with a little bit of cedar in there as well. So a woodsy scent profile, but it does have that typical Stronger With You chestnut, that woodsiness, that coziness that you've come to expect. It's very warm, sweet, a little bit sticky. Also has a little hint of freshness to it from the lavender that's in there. It's a great compliment pulling fragrance. The only potential drawback is, as is common with some of the Stronger With You fragrances, it's very clearly Stronger With You with a twist, and this time the twist, obviously, sandalwood. So I guess really it's giving you exactly what it says it is. So I know this would make more sense on like a clone specific video, but we're gonna do this. So I got a couple more of the French Avenue new Equestrian series clones. This is how they come, by the way. If you order them, they actually come with like the little box around the actual box, you see. So I guess I'll just leave those slip covers on. But this one right here is called Pierce, and this one right here is called Hayden. Kind of obvious, I guess. This is a clone of Perseus, this is a clone of Halton. And they're extremely well done, really top-notch stuff. So I'll give away both of these. If you wanna be entered in the giveaway, all you have to do is the usual stuff, which you see over here. Like the video, be subscribed to the channel, leave a comment below. Let me know which fragrance for you works the best at pulling positive attention. It can be anything, whatever it is for you. And I'll pick a winner with random comment picker posted up on the post tab of the YouTube channel like usual. And that will be done the month following when this video goes live. Good luck. Last fragrance, Hero. EDP. Burberry Hero is sneaky popular. It really is. When it was first released, a lot of people wrote it off immediately like, oh, it's gonna fail. It's garbage. Nobody's gonna want that. It's trash, brother. Sucks. Adam Driver with his shirt off riding a horse on the beach. What are you smoking? And then Burberry looked at their bank account and they were like, oh.
Go F yourself.
Because turns out, oopsie doopsie, it was popular. Talking about the Eau de Toilette. And then they came out with the Eau de Parfum, which to me, an improvement. And actually still to this day, the best of the Burberry Heroes. It has that woodsy base, that cedar base that the Hero line at this point is known for, but it is richer, it is deeper, it has more of a sweetness, it smells classy and sexy all at the same time. Great for an evening fragrance year round. Also good fall, winter, early spring. If you're looking for a woodsy masculine scent that absolutely commands attention, Hero Eau de Parfum is one of the best things you can possibly buy. And there we go. 12 different scents right here that people absolutely love. Some of them more well known, some of them a little more under the radar, but all of these absolutely great choices. Also, don't forget the giveaway if you want to be entered in that. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourself. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.